take your political theater to Texas.
This is not about political theater.
And it was more political theater than anything.
It's nothing more than pure political theater.
It's pure political theater.
Hey, Bernard.
Marvin.
Okay. Excuse me. Who's this? This is Bernard. What's wrong with you?
The Bernard?
Yeah.
It's me. Homewrecker, he's with me.
What? I can't believe you just did that.
You are my stuff and you know it, don't even try it.
He's lying. Don't believe him, Bernard. Don't believe him.
Oh, you did not say that last night when we was in bed together, girl.
You slept with him. You slut. Bernard.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Political Theater with Dr. Taylor. Yes, that was a low down dirty shame. And I was playing it because Dr. Hall posted on Threads about, how we could have had a couple of spinoffs of this film, and we did not get them. And so I was going to play them in his honor. Unfortunately, Dr. Hall is held up right now. He's dealing with some family stuff, but he is making every effort to be here. And that's okay, because I was doing this show before he was here any damn way. So this is my show. It's my show. Welcome to Political Theater with Dr. T. I am Dr. T. That Dr. T is short for Dr. Taylor. And I'm so happy to be here. Guys, listen, I gotta give you some updates. So this past week, I was very sick. I think I may have caught a bug that's been going around. There's been a bug, and I was just like, not me, not the kid. I don't get sick like that because I be in my house, okay? But now I'm teaching young people. And you know that young people are petri dishes for all of the most vile things. So I wonder if I got that, right? Maybe it was the bad chicken salad sandwich I had. I don't know. But I just know that I got sick. And I was knocked off my behind for a while. Your girl couldn't eat. I could barely keep down water. It was just not good. And so my whole life got shifted back. Like when you're sick, everything gets thrown off. And I had things scheduled that I missed, and I felt so bad. I didn't get a lot of my work done. I wasn't able to do political theater on Friday, which I'm really sorry about. But friends, I'm here. I'm here on a Sunday. If you're on the East Coast, you know that we're expecting, they said, a blizzard. Where I am right now, it's just raining a little bit, but I'm not playing no games. I put salt out. I got a guy now who shovels. He texted me yesterday and said, you need me to put you on the list? I said, yes, please. I can't do it again. Last time, I was stuck in a house for like a week because I couldn't get out. Not this time, though. I got a guy. And here's the thing. You know how they always want to talk about, that's why you need a man, and oh, you single and you happy and you single until it's time to shovel the snow. Guess what? There's always going to be a man somewhere willing to work for a couple of dollars. You throw him a little couple of dollars, he'll take care of it for you. And see, I still can have my peace in my house without somebody with a CPAP machine next to me. Shout out to the people that sleep with CPAP machines, though. Appreciate you. No shade, no tea. So how's everybody doing? Where are you all checking in from? Remember to hit that like button. If you have not done so, hit that like button, please. I'm going to put my banner on the bottom and remind you all that I do sell merch. I got some orders in today. Thank you. That's part of how I pay my kids' tuition, college tuition. which is $742 a month. So if you want to buy some merch, you can always make a donation. You see them on I got the Cash App and the Venmo and the PayPal and stuff. If you ever want to do that, that's always a blessing. And then I have one more Black History Month workshop coming up. I've had 3 so far. They've been fun. It's been great. A lot of people haven't been able to make it live, but they've been watching the replays and really loving it. So I'm so glad that I could provide that. So if you go to femnisajones.com/BHM26, you can register for the final one, which is going to be on African-American social philosophers. So I hope that you're here. Philly is in the house. Pittsburgh is in the house. Where else is everybody? Oh, you're in Weehawken. Okay. Let me know where you're at. I got any folks on the West Coast? We got any international folks here? I don't know. We'll see. All right. So I'm actually going to try to carry this. Let me see. I think Dr. Hall sent me a message. Okay. He said he'll let me know when he's able to make it. So he's going to try his best, but he's got some family. He's got a little family emergency stuff going on. And, shout out to the family. Shout out to family and all the things that we end up having to do for them. But that's okay. Dr. Hall actually made the docket today. So he contributed, folks. Dr. Hall don't be contributing shit. But it's my show. All right. Atlanta, Florida, Austin, Texas. Cool. All right. So let's get into it. We have a lot to make up for. Some of this you've probably already discussed and talked about, but we're going to talk about it because you know how we always do. How many of you are watching the Olympics? I admit that I'm not. I have to be honest, chat. I could not possibly care less about the Olympics. Not right now. Not right now. There's pedophiles running this world. It's hard for me to watch something, yet another institution that could very well be run by this cabal of pedophiles. Like, has anybody searched the Epstein files for Olympics? Yeah, let's do that right now. Oh my gosh. So here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I do believe that you should have joy. You should find joy wherever you want. If you want to go to a concert, if you want to go and you want to, watch movies, you want to do whatever you want to do, go ahead. Oh, wait a minute. The Olympics are in the Epstein files, y'all. Hi, Natasha. Do you know if our, quote, vacation package department is working on trips to Tokyo for the 2020 Olympics? Oh, God. They were, no, wait, something on the 2012. Oh, okay, guys, I'm going to share. Why didn't I think to look at the Olympics and the Epstein files? Okay. Let me see. Can I make this bigger? Okay. Hi, Jeffrey. This is the program I was telling you about at Zorro. Taylor was trying to get an interview so she would be selected to cover the Summer Olympic Games in London of 2012 with the new house program at Syracuse. She was not selected for the interview. Her professor at Syracuse doesn't understand why she wasn't selected. She's one of the most a strong tie to tennis, blah, blah, blah. She's heartbroken. Is there any person or friend of a friend you may know at NBC or affiliate that may look into the possibility of opening this door for her? Whatever you can do, if anything. Thank you, Larry. Okay. Chat. Was Jeffrey Epstein pulling favors for the Olympics? I mean, we're not surprised, right? But the Republicans are like, oh, he's a fixer. You need a girl, he gets a girl. That's what he said. I'm not even going to show that clip because that was ridiculous. And talking about, like, it seems like he was just connecting. If you needed connections for something, if you needed help with something, he's pulling strings everywhere. We're everywhere. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that was the Olympics. I don't know. Do we need to see more about the Olympics? Let's see if he had. Oh, I guess the hotels were oversold. They were trying to stay at the Grand Hyatt. Not the Special Olympics. You know what? Nope, that ain't even on the docket today, y'all. I can't because I don't even want to think about what they might have been doing with disabled kids. I don't know. Nope. Anyway, so the Olympics are happening, but there is obviously some controversy. And so let's see. The Olympics turn political. This is from The Hill. U.S. athletes are starting to speak against Trump, which obviously, and they're saying, like, Trump attacked U.S. athlete Hunter Hess directly after Hess said he was conflicted about competing for Team USA given the country's political climate. And this, of course, takes us back, remind 1968, right? With the brothers with the black fist, and thinking about all the times when racialized athletes, particularly black athletes, were forced to participate and compete for a country that hated them. Think of Jesse Owens, right? And other people. They would be treated horribly here, but be expected to go and represent the nation. And because they're black athletes, you have a better chance of winning. I mean, we all understand that, right? If black people learn a sport, they're going to dominate it. It's just only a matter of time, right? All that African muscle mass, right? So he attacked Hunter Hess, a freestyle skier, and it's tough. And President Trump called him a loser, a real loser, on Truth Social, and said it's very hard to root for someone like that. Okay, sure, whatever. Let's see. We got a little bit of video here. Hold on. Let's see. Got some video. Oh, what just happened here? All right, you guys. You know I'm doing this all by myself. You know I'm doing it all by myself, and I just got to stage manage myself. All right, let's share the screen here, and we're sharing. All right, so let's share this. All right, here we go.
Like that. What Olympic athletes are voicing mixed emotions about representing the country under the leadership of President Trump. Their comments drawing strong rebuke from the administration and supporters of the president. Joining me to discuss, Dominic Mastrangelo, staff writer here at The Hill. Hey, Dominic. So what is the sentiment we've heard from these U.S. Olympians, and how widespread has that sentiment actually been?
Well, it seems to be fairly contained, but it's definitely true in the case of several athletes who, have not come right out and bashed the country, but have expressed, again, what I would call mixed emotions about representing the U.S., given the current political climate, given some of the actions of this administration. And what's really remarkable is now we've seen the president and some of his supporters outright attack these athletes or suggest maybe they shouldn't try out for U.S. Olympic teams if they aren't wholly supportive of everything the president is doing.
Yeah, I thought some of the criticism.
And I'm just going to stop it there, because we all understand that fundamentally that is anti-American, right? To critique them and to be mad at them for speaking out, right? I just want to make sure we're all on the same page and we understand the Constitution of the United States. Now, I won't get into who it's supposed to apply to. I'm not going to get into the slave owners. We know what that is. The enslavers, I should say. But come on. The one thing, the most American thing, and when we think about the world, right, and how many countries actually protect freedom of speech, you should be able to critique the United States and say, I'm not happy with the political climate and I want to speak out. And that is, So you know what a lot of military folks often say, right? We're out there defending your freedom to say what you want. Hasn't that been the military line? Am I tripping? But has that not been what the military has justified its existence for? We're defending American freedoms. We're defending democracy. We're defending the freedom of your speech, your freedom to critique and be against us. Isn't that what the military is about? So if we now have an administration that doesn't want you expressing yourself and having freedom of expression and critiquing the government, then what's the point of the military? Maybe we should abolish the military, because if they're not defending our freedoms, what the hell are they doing? Nothing, right? I'm just putting that out there. Y'all know I hate the military, so, but respect to the people who have served. My daddy is a veteran. Respect to all the people that have served, especially those who were put into tough situations and didn't really feel like they had much of a choice. Trust me, this is not an individual indictment. It's what the United States military represents in the world, right? And so that is incredibly problematic. So Trump is upset because there's athletes that are critiquing the government. And so here's the thing. I remember growing up, the Olympics were we couldn't wait to watch, especially the Summer Olympics, because we knew Black folks was about to bring it in. We were watching FloJo, Jackie Joyner Kersey. Y'all remember Dan and Dave? I mean, we were watching, what was the dude? We was watching, what's his name? Michael Long or something like that. What was he was an arrogant little shit too, but he could run his ass off. Remember when Marion Jones was juicing? We was watching the whole thing, and it was an event. I wanted to see some Dominique Dawes. I wanted to see what's Gabrielle, the flip with the flip. The one with the flip. That's what I was. Carl Lewis. Remember him? We was set, as the young people say. And that was a time. Now, given what we've learned about what was happening with the gymnasts and the sexual violence they were enduring, given all we know about the juicing, right? Come on, yeah, most of our faves are juicing. Ain't nobody that fucking fast. It's just not. We gotta be honest, right? I'm just in a place now where I'm just like, it's still run, nigga, run. And I'm a little bit older, I guess. And I think there was a middle range when I would be like, I'm only rooting for the Black people. I don't care where you're from. And now I feel nothing. Definitely don't feel any patriotism. But, so there's that. So the other scandal, I guess, would be on who represents what, right? So we have two Asian athletes, Asian American athletes, Asian athletes, however you want to call it. See, now I ain't even gonna get into the whole these FBA food. We could say Asian American, right? Because it represents Asian countries. And they're descendants of people from Asian countries, and you can look at them and tell that they are descendants of people from Asian countries. But y'all want to be mad when we say African American, because you can look at us and tell that we are descendants of people from African countries. But I'm just gonna leave that right there, because unlike some of the men that I see out here, like the FD signifier type, shout out to him. What's the other one? The light skinned one with the locks. Is his name Devontae or something? Or Dante, something. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Sorry, respectfully. Deontay. I think his name is Deontay. Y'all want to go back and forth with these people. This is new to you. This is not new to me. I was first attacked by Tariq Nasheed back in 2013. I don't get into that nonsense because they're stupid. And they're stupid, and it's a grift, and it's a lot of bots. And so I don't get involved with all of that FBA bullshit. But y'all can go back and forth because I know it's good content, and I know it gets views, and I know you are all monetized, And so whatever it is you want to do, keep going with it. I'm not getting into that, but I just want to say that I'm proudly African American, and that's that. But anyway, we got Eileen Gu. Eileen Gu is an Asian American. She is Chinese American, I believe, and she's 22. This is her second Olympic Games, okay? And so this is from The Athletic. She said, sometimes I feel like I'm carrying the weight of two countries on my shoulders. Understandable, just for, if in case anybody doesn't know. There are many people who are from the United States, citizens of the United States, went to school in the United States, got their athletic training here in the United States, and compete for their home country. And by home country, usually where their parents were born, or where they have they were able to get dual citizenship because of that, like that birth connection. We see a lot of that happening in Caribbean nations, right? A lot of folks will go home and run for Jamaica or run for Trinidad or something like that, but they're from here, born and raised here, went to whatever A&T school, all of that great stuff. So this is not uncommon, right? Basketball also, like they'll go, this is not uncommon. So she's actually competing for, is it China? I want to make sure I know. See, this is what happens. Yeah, it's China. Okay, so I want to make sure, because Dr. Hall put this together. So she's competing under the Chinese flag, and for her country. And she was called a traitor, okay? And labeled ungrateful. This, again, Athletic. She was labeled ungrateful and shameful by conservative pundits for her 2019 decision to leave the United States team and compete for her mother's native country. Now, here's another thing that we know. First of all, China is real strong across the board, athletic. We know behind the scenes there's been some sketchy stuff, but there's sketchy stuff in every country. They'll beat your feet certain places. They'll be like, dance, dance. United States, they might assault you. Everybody's doing it. I was not doing that. Everything that we know about these pedophiles, I'm going to connect every single story today to these goddamn pedophiles. So she's been called a traitor. You're not a traitor. She's from both countries. That's what she wants to represent. That is her culture. That is her heritage. She wants to do that. They're upset because they're losing a really good athlete. Like she won a silver medal, right? Like they're upset because of that, right? And because the United States doesn't always do that well in the Winter Olympics. In fact, this year, I was just listening yesterday to a podcast that said this is the most winning the United States has done in a very long time, right? Like this is the most gold medals I think the United States has like ever won at the Winter Olympics. So something like that. Somebody fact check me. But like, it's a big deal. And then of course, in this administration that we have, they're very upset. Everything is patriotic, America first, all of this bullshit. And I can see and I can imagine a world in which they decide that if you want to be in the Olympics and you want to compete for another country, you have to give up your citizenship. I can see that happening. I can see that happening. You understand? So there's that. And then, but because the thing is, there is another an Asian, and I'm gonna share this with you. This is Elisa Liu. So Kamala Harris's headquarters newsroom, right? This thing that she was teasing and had people thinking that she was announcing a run again, but instead she's announcing a haven for Gen Z to gather and do political shit when they can't fucking read. They post Alyssa Liu, which I saw that performance. Now I did watch that chat. That was absolutely, it was given Gloria. Y'all remember from Flashdance when she was ice skating? It was given that, right? That she'd been here before. But anyway, she became the first woman to win the free skate gold medal for the United States since 2002. So 24 years. That's 6 Olympics. They said she refused to compete for China and she's woke. Yeah, I want to say that again. She refused to compete for China and she's woke. Now, hold on a second. If y'all been here since the beginning, y'all know that I know that Kamala Harris is a Black Republican. And the reason why I offer that caveat of Black Republican, or I should say Black conservative, is because Black people's experiences with conservatism are different because of the whole racism of the GOP, right? But so much of what Kamala Harris has said and done with her career, with her campaign, is conservative. Come on, guys. We know that, right? And the fact that she was running as a Democrat is largely, in my opinion, because she is a woman, because she's half Black, she's half Indian, and she's first generation, right? Those are the people that are supposed to be represented by the Democratic Party. But she's a Black conservative, right? And Black conservative, like Zora Neale Hurston, Black conservative, like Clarence Thomas, Black conservative, right? Johnny Cochran, Black conservative, right? So I'm not surprised by some shit like this because many of her followers also are conservatives or centrists. Many are right of center. Won't admit it though, because it's pretty gauche to be a conservative these days. So a lot of people just don't admit it. They vote it, they support conservative values and ideas, but they don't admit out loud that they're conservative. So I was not at all surprised to see this because this is the same talking point as what the conservatives are saying. Basically, is suggesting that the other athlete, Eileen, is somehow a traitor for repping China. And shout out to Chinese Americans for keeping the name Eileen alive. I've always loved that name. It's great. So yeah, and I agree that they're always looking for reasons to denigrate China, even though they have lapped us 4 times at least in advancements around technology and finance, economics, education, healthcare, health itself. I mean, sorry. Every time they want to put down China, all I got to do is look at what China has done and just be like, come on. United States is the Temu version of China. Like, come on. You know, dictatorship aside. All right, so that's what's going on in the Olympics. I spent entirely too much time on the Olympics. I'm not watching the Olympics. If I want to watch some sports, I'll go watch Heated Rivalry. Because I love some good soft gay porn. It's great. So the Department of Homeland Security is killing Americans, and we know this, and we know that ICE is doing it. Let me share this. I don't know how many of you heard this story. I remember when I was reading it and it broke. I'm glad that Dr. Hall put it on the docket. Let's see. He's still not oh shit. Well, he's not here. All right. So Ruben Ray Martinez in Texas. This young man, look at his face. Look, just kind of sit with his face. He was actually killed last year, I believe. And they said it would mark the earliest of at least 6 deadly shootings by the federal officers since the start of the nationwide immigration crackdown in Trump's second term. He's a citizen. He was killed. They said that they were conducting an immigration enforcement operation in conjunction with local police. And the records were heavily redacted, of course. But he was killed on March 15th. And it was reported, but they did not disclose that the shooting involved HSI, right? So that's their way of covering up the violence that they are doing. 23-year-old citizen, okay? We need to lift up the name of Dr. Linda Davis. I don't know if you all heard Dr. Linda Davis. Let me see if I can show her picture here. Sorry, y'all know I'm running this by myself. I can't afford production. I'm not Don Lemon. Also, while I'm doing this, if you haven't hit the like button, please make sure that you hit the like button and share this with your audiences. This is Linda, Dr. Linda Davis. And so basically the story is that there was a removal order for a person from Guatemala, Oscar Vasquez Lopez, and they were chasing him down and he was fleeing ICE and it was a crash. And because of the crash, she died. So let's just watch this video real quick. Hold on. Well, there's an ad there. Nobody wants to hear the ad. But this is ICE's fault, right? She dies because they're chasing someone and that person is
professional grade.
So, okay.
Broken glass and bent car frames being taken off the roadways in Chatham County after an early morning crash. The deceased, a beloved special education teacher, Dr. Linda Davis, who worked less than a mile away at Hess K-8. While students were out for President's Day, Monday was a work day for teachers like Dr. Davis. The school responding, releasing a statement saying, "We should all expect and try to understand that there will be a variety of emotions and responses as to what has occurred. The most important thing we can do is to be supportive and encourage an open expression of feelings." As for what led up to it, police say ICE officers initially attempted a traffic stop of 38-year-old Oscar Vasquez Lopez. The Department of Homeland Security says he was initially stopped, then sped away, running a red light and making an illegal U-turn, which caused the deadly collision. DHS releasing this photo, saying he was in the country illegally from Guatemala. Vasquez Lopez has been charged with reckless driving, driving without a...
Anyway, guess who's not going to be charged with nothing? Right? Because the thing is, and so one of the critiques of this entire thing is that ICE is not going about this the right way. They're renegade. They're like rogue, and they're roving these streets in a very rogue and renegade kind of way. And it's not safe for people around them. It's not safe the way that ICE is doing these takedowns. They're blocking off traffic. They're pulling their cars up on sidewalks. They're harassing all kinds of people and stuff like that. They're enjoying, it's like Call of Duty, right? And so that's part of the critique, that they're very reckless, which is why Renee Good is shot in the face, right? That recklessness. It's why Alex Petty was shot dead, like in close point blank range in the middle of the street, because they're reckless. And so, yes, we can say that they are partially responsible for this because of the reckless way they're going about this. They've had this order since 2024. They have not been able to take care of it. So now they want to be all gangbusters about it. And now the sister is dead just for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But it shouldn't have been a wrong time because they shouldn't have been going about it this way. And that's it. And they started hiring all these people. They're not vetting them. Well, actually, one of the people that was vetting them just got popped in a human trafficking ring, right? The black guy, he's the one responsible for vetting them. But what kind of job is he doing when he's a part of a human trafficking ring? We are in the stupidest timeline. Like, it's an awful time to be smart. I'm just gonna put that out there. Chat, y'all are smart. I'm a lot smarter. Like, if you're feeling bad, imagine how I'm feeling. What a dumb time to be alive. That's all I'm gonna say. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Dr. Linda. And I hope that you were welcomed by the ancestors, and that your life is remembered and honored for your educational contributions, for all the work that you did with the kids. Shout out to her. Sad, right? Always sad when a Black woman is killed. Always sad when a Black woman educator is killed, right? Like, we're out here trying to teach the babies and change the world, and then that ends up happening. What y'all want to talk about? Because there's so much going. Dr. Hall keeps adding stuff to the docket from wherever he is, because now I'm looking at the docket, there's like 8 more things on there that were not there when I started this show. So thank you, Dr. Hall. I know you're in the background. I know you're dealing with some stuff, so I know you're watching too, so I appreciate you, Dr. Hall. Has Dr. Hall been in the chat, y'all? I haven't seen him in the chat, but I appreciate you. All right, so where do we want to go? Do we want to go to South Korea? We want to go to United Kingdom? Actually, let's stay here in the United States. Let's go to Les Wexner. Let's watch this video of shit. Hold on. Good Lord. Let's watch this, because what the hell? You know, white men. White men. How do y'all get away with this shit? I don't understand. Hold on, let me close this. Let me open it up here, because y'all get away with everything. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. You know I'm doing my own stuff. And it's been a while since I've done political theater. It's a little rusty. All right, here we go. Let's watch this.
Done. Answer that question. 5 words, okay?
I'm gonna run that back.
Answer that question. 5 words, okay?
First of all, can we talk about the elder abuse? Chat, if I'm laughing, it's not because I'm laughing at what's, the situation. It's a very grave situation. It's very, Les Wexner is under a lot of fire. Oh, Dr. Hall said he was here for the CPAP slander. My bad. But did you hear him? He said, wait, let's play it one more time.
Answer that question. 5 words, okay?
I will fucking kill you if you answer another question. Listen, old man. Listen here. I know what you did. I know you guilty as sin. And you got me on retainer and you paying me a lot of goddamn money, so I'm going to do my job. But if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm going to kill you. And Lex got to be about 127 years old. So I'm not even sure he was fully aware of where he was. Y'all remember how Brett Favre used to look when he was doing all the welfare stuff, and they would look at him? Brett Favre never really knew where he was. Took so many hits to the head, he never knew where he was. Les Wexner, I'm not convinced he actually understands where he is. A little bit of elder abuse. He deserves it, because he's a violent pedophile and human trafficker. But I got to put up the allegedly banner. Gosh, they're gonna get me. Allegedly. But let's keep watching.
Answer the question.
Okay.
A discrete question on a different topic.
I think the perspective that I have now, and I think what's really important for this group to understand, is that as I look back at it, I was conned by the world Olympic all-time con artist.
Speaking of Olympics.
And you look at, I read in the news all the people he knew, royalty, kings, princes, and all that. An incredible con artist. Absolutely not. I've asked myself that question over and over, why I didn't see the should have been a clue or something that I should have picked up on. There's nothing I can recall. Nothing. Not even a clue of a clue.
So I just want to pause real quick for that, okay? Because in some ways, I can actually believe that. And here's why I say this. Not saying that I believe that he wasn't involved in nasty shit with kids, right? No. But white men are given absolute benefit of a doubt. White men are allowed to fail forward, fail upward, and they are believed to be innocent just automatically, the same way Black men are assumed to be guilty automatically. They trust each other. They look at each other and they're like, it's a good guy. Why would I believe that he's anything but a good guy? But this is the bullshit part, is that Les Wexner was working with him for 20 years. I don't know about y'all. My oldest friendship will be 33 years this year. My next oldest friendships will be like 29 years this year. I know these people. I know their ups, their downs, their ins, their outs, their lights and their darks. That's what happens when you are involved in people's lives for 20 years, 20 plus years. So for him to suggest that he didn't know these other things were going on with Jeffrey Epstein, that's where the bullshit is. But I just wanted to point out that part that, like, white men are given carte blanche because they are always given the benefit of a doubt. And so that's how, like, the Firefest guy, people keep investing in him, even though he has shown multiple times that he is a scammer, that he is a failure. People keep investing in and believing in him. This is why white men can have 5 startups and get $10 million each time. But like Black women with proven history of being talented and skilled and all those things are fighting for crumbs because people don't want to take the risk, right? Right. Okay. Let's keep going.
And I think the reason, in hindsight, and I think for the understanding to get to the bottom of what Jeffrey did, is to understand how great a con he was, because that's the explanation I have to myself. How could I have never thought he was a thief? How could I never thought he was a pervert? You know, all the terrible things. Never clue.
Now, less.
Jeffrey.
Come on, man.
Invited us to see it. And
you're a pervert.
And we went to the island with our kids. So Abigail, myself, and I can't remember how many kids we had, 2, 3, or 4, but at least 2, walked around for a while and left.
How you don't know how many kids you have with you? Kids are a lot on vacation. You remember how many goddamn kids you have. But here's the thing. Has anybody else noticed that all the people who are being like asked about being on the island are emphasizing that they had kids with them as kind of to say it was innocent? I was bringing my kids for vacation. When we have evidence in the files that people were offering their siblings and kids to Epstein.
Probably an hour visit.
Okay. An hour visit. Why are you flying to Little St. John for an hour? You got money like that?
An hour. So on that trip, do you recall seeing any prominent figures on the island?
No, and it was a pretty crummy island.
So it's a pretty crummy island. Because there's all them dead babies under there, you fuck. Okay.
It was just regularly done.
So that's when he got him for that part. Okay, so that was that part, right? He was just like, if you keep talking, motherfucker, I swear to God, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. Maybe because he knows he's guilty. He knows this, and he still has to work as a lawyer. So you ain't finna mess me up. I still got to get this win because my ratio. You ain't about to mess up my ratio, you old pervert. Let's see. Do we talk about Prince Andrew? I ain't talking about white people this much. I wish I was too white. Let's look at this. Prince Andrew. Look, that's when they popped him. I just want to point out to everybody that Prince Andrew is the second son. And the reason why this is important, because if you know anything, if you follow me and stuff like that, I've talked about how the United States was founded by second sons, third sons, ne'er-do-wells, rejects, criminals, debtors, the whores. Shout out to the whores. The people that the mother countries didn't want, right? That in Australia was like a prison colony, right? A penal colony or whatever. But the United States was not founded by the so-called best of the best. It was not founded by the smartest people. It was founded by a lot of lecherous people, vile people, violent people. That's why they were enslavers. They had no problem trafficking human beings and things like that. So when you think about the monarchy, and then I was reading something about how they have yet another close ancestor who got popped for sexually abusing children. So it runs in the family, but I think that it does. And you guys know, like, they get on me and they were like, oh, you're racist. I'm not racist. I just understand white people. And of course, I have to say not all white people, because, okay, all of you are not like that, but a whole lot of you are. And your ancestors. And you come from savage people. You come from people who eat people's flesh. You come from people who sell other people. You come from people who force people to breed. You come from people who enslave other people. You come from people who created apartheid. You come from the people who continue to steal the resources from Africa. You come from the people who, what they did to India. Woo! Like, this is where you come from, right? You come from the people that exterminated 11 million people in like less than 5 years. This is where you come from. So there's something in that Aryan DNA that is rancid. It's rancid. But anyway, this inbred royal family makes even more sense, right? Because as inbred as they are, some deviance is going to show up at some point, right? But here's the thing. The UK said, Andrew must be worse. And let me tell you why I think Andrew is worse. They're like, fuck you. We ain't going to bat for you. Now, they've been protecting him this whole time. And shout out to the folks in the US who forced the release of these files, because without the release of the files, he would still be chilling. Virginia Dufresne sued him already. She produced photographs, real photographs. And they knew this. They were sitting on this the whole time. And they did nothing, right? So it wasn't until people like Ro Khanna and others have been pushing for these files to be released that now they're like, oh, well, shit, we can't deny it no more. We knew you was a pedophile. We knew that you were a patriarchal predator. We knew all your secrets. We was willing to keep them, but you let them get out. So now we have to do what we have to do. And Charles's philandering ass comes and basically is like, I'm the king. I'm fighting cancer. I don't have time for this wayward bullshit. If this was 400 years ago, I'd send you to the new colonies. So anyway, Andrew got popped, and Trump is still able to ramble on about nonsense. So here's the thing. The UK is looking at these files. They're looking at the police reports. They're looking at all these kinds of things, and they're seeing him being named. Virginia Dufresne's book, she talks about this. I mean, like, it's a whole thing. They know that he did this. But why is it that the UK can accept that he did this, arrest him, take his prince name from him, right, Andrew? Said, now you ain't no prince no more. He's still 8th in line, I heard, though. So they got to figure that out. Because if like all 7 of them are like in a thing together, and then he gets whoever took over for Epstein, because you know this shit hasn't died, right? Like, we all know. Some things we know. Epstein did not kill himself. Ghislaine is a mastermind who might have actually been pulling Jeffrey's strings, which makes me wonder what she had over him, right? She has something over him that had him shook. And all the manipulating God of War, you guys know I've been calling him the God of War this whole time, and all of his manipulating God of War stuff, she got something on him. Or she did something that he liked. Because men are simple in that way, right? But anyway, Epstein is here, but y'all, we got Ghislaine is like here. She's sitting in jail. And this is how I know she was over. She's in a minimum security prison, serving a 20-year sentence after being found guilty of trafficking minors for sex. Chat, while I'm talking, if anybody wants to go to Google right quick and look up some of the sentences for human traffickers, actually go to Judge Carl Hansen in Beloit and look at how many years he gives people who even look at a child the wrong way. 49 years, 29 years, 40 years. Shout out to Judge Carl Hansen, abolitionist that I am. I'm just saying, within the system, he's doing what he needs to do. How do you get 20 years for global human trafficking of minors? And you're in a minimum security prison with a dog, an emotional support dog. And I don't know either. I'm with you. How is she still alive? And she's alive because she's in a minimum security prison. And I think low key, I think she's probably y'all remember Heidi Fleiss? And Heidi Fleiss was supposed to be like the biggest madam in the world or whatever. I think Ghislaine was looking at her like, all right, right? Ghislaine is like the biggest bottom bitch in the world. And if you don't know what a bottom bitch is, go look at Urban Dictionary. And they all owe her. They all know her. They all owe her. Ghislaine is getting this treatment. She's like, all right, I'll do your little time for a little bit. I'm not going to do this 20 years. Y'all can get the fuck out of my face. I'll do whatever you need to do to show a good whatever. I am going to do minimum security. You are going to give me my dog. I am going to tell the warden what to do. I am going to have all the food I want. I am not going to have a job. I am going to have a comfortable bed. And if I don't, you think those files are something? I got you. I think she the one. I think she's the one. And the more you read about these young girls describing her and her participation in things, how she seemed to enjoy it or what have you. Ghislaine is the embodiment of evil, as is Jeffrey, as is all of these people, but she's a sociopath. Like she's psychotic. and I think she had something on Jeffrey. So but anyway, back to Andrew. If they can pop him, then Trump should also be gone. He's in the same files. He's named alongside Andrew. So if the UK is arrested him, well, they didn't actually arrest him on this shit. They arrested him on like I guess poor behavior while in office or some bullshit like that. But if he's alongside Andrew, then Trump should also be facing similar problems. So the other thing that we've noticed is that there's been a lot of people resigning from positions, right? Like last week, I feel like every single day we were learning about someone else resigning from their position, right? Some top position that they have because of their connection to being in the Epstein files. And a lot of people are like, oh, resigning is not enough. And I get that. Excuse me. The abolitionist in me, I understand why you all are thirsty for incarceration and blood and all this stuff. But I'm just trying to remind you that incarceration means nothing for these people. What it means is that the taxpayers are going to spend money to clothe, feed, and house these people. And it's like about $130,000 a person on average per year. That's coming directly from the taxpayers. They're going to go in there. Many of them will die. And I know a lot of you want that to happen. You want them to die within the prison system. You want them to be sexually assaulted as well. And many of you will express, oh, they need to go to jail and experience what it is that they did to other people. And you don't realize how actually psychotic that statement is and how completely fucked up you are for wishing rape on someone else. Like, you know me, I'm always going to keep it real. And if I need to call you out for your bullshit, I will. It is never okay to wish rape on somebody, especially within the prison system, knowing how systemic rape is a part of the prison system. Like, that's never cool. I'm all for putting two between the head and just letting it go. Get them. But y'all think that's too harsh. You think it's too harsh for somebody to take 2 bullets to the head. You want to see the taxpayer pay for them to live their lives out incarcerated. One of us makes sense. And that's me, because it's my show and I make sense. I think you need to rethink how you think about this, right? They're losing their job. They're resigning from their jobs. Probably won't be hired again, right? That's loss of income. Unless they have a strong nest egg, that hurts people. How would you feel if you lost your job tomorrow? Would you be able to survive? How long would you be able to survive, right? Social ostracizing, right? You ain't gonna be able to hang out with nobody. Nobody wants to be around you. Ain't got nobody gonna touch you with a 10-foot pole. You probably got to go into hiding for a while. Probably change your name and your identity. That's social exile. That's exile. That's what communities used to do all the time. They used to put people in exile when they harmed members of the community. No, I'm not willing to have my tax money go towards prison rape. Maybe we're just different. All right. Let's see. What else we got going on? Oh, just, because there's a lot going on, but Dr. Hall's not here, and I'm actually like a little bit tired or whatever. But I just wanted to comment on one more thing before I go, because this is actually important to me. So we know that there are a lot of attacks on Black studies. Oh, excuse me. Black studies, women's studies, cultural studies, all that kind of stuff, right? And it's hard to watch as a Black studies, women's studies kind of person. looking at the efforts that the administration is taking to erase us, right? As a Black woman who not only lives at the intersection of these identities, but my work, all of my work, quite literally, is at the intersection of these identities. Which is why your support helps. Thank you very much. It is very hard to witness these attacks and not take them personally, right? Because it's not just some blanket attack, like say on the history department. Well, the history covers a lot of things. So who's being attacked? But they're specifically attacking Africana studies programs, gender, sexuality, women's studies programs. And as a person trying to get a full-time job in this particular space, it is disheartening to see these colleges and universities caving to this madness. Departments that have existed for 20, 30, 40, 50 years are caving to this administration. So 2 things happened recently, and I want to share with you. Hold on. How many of you have ever heard of the PhD project? I'm going to share this with you. Okay. So the PhD project, I'll click this for you. It is a member network that has proven invaluable. In fact, according to data, blah, 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 90% of their members complete their doctorate, 70% overall doctoral program completion rate, 97% is the rate of their PhD project members who accept faculty positions upon graduation, 60% the US average for overall higher education and professor faculty retention. This is a project that was started it's a pipeline program, right? And for those of you who aren't familiar with pipeline programs, because I've actually been in a few of them, they exist to right the wrongs of history, right? That's what affirmative action was supposed to do, to right the wrongs of history. And so acknowledging that throughout history, certain groups of people have been discriminated against, because of their identity. Women, veterans, Black people, Indigenous people, immigrants, things like that. People created programs and projects that would help get people at least to the same starting line, right? Because that's always kind of been the situation. It's like the finish line is the same, but is everyone able to start in the same place? And if they do, how many obstacles are in the way? Does the white person have a straight line and the Black person has 7 hurdles they have to jump over, right? That's what righting the wrongs is. Righting the wrongs is making sure everybody starts at the same starting line and that they have the same clear path to get to where they need to. And if we need to target some issues and we need to focus in some areas, then that's what we will do. And so projects like the PhD project, the McNair Scholarship or the Fellowship Program, the Mellon Fellowship Program, A Better Chance, Prep for Prep, the White Foundation, A Better Chance, right? These different programs exist to help people who are intelligent, talented, gifted, whatever the hell you want to call it, actually have the same shot as everyone else. So recently, this particular project is a member program. So basically what that means, like the Oliver program, they work with different institutions and you go and become a part of the PhD project. They train you, they work with you, they support you, they do different kinds of trainings, workshops, all kind of stuff. Like they help you with your applications. They offer support once you get in the program. They follow up with you, all that kind of stuff. And this targets racialized people, people that are marginalized from getting, historically marginalized from getting PhDs. they had like 45 programs, like schools that they were working with where they were doing this. And because of the Trump administration's attacks on DEI and the labeling of these programs as discriminatory, 34 of them pulled out. 31 of them pulled out. Only 14 remain as of now. That's my last count. Who knows what's happened in the last 24 hours? 34 schools pulled out. 34 schools reminded us that they don't really actually care about this anyway. They don't want marginalized PhD candidates or students or, prospects. They don't want us there. And I think that's the hardest thing, because I think for the last 50 years, we've been fed the illusion. That's why I wish Dr. Hall was here. And I know that he's in, a situation. I wish he was here because he actually did his dissertation on this stuff, right? For the last 50 years, we've been given the illusion of freedom and equality. And while I know that people outside of, academia, higher ed, and a lot of these spaces that many of our people still can't achieve, they haven't felt much of anything. There were people who were feeling, there he is. You are just in time. Can you hear me?
Yes, I was actually still listening to you on my phone. I was a minute behind.
Hey.
Put
a one in the chat for Dr. Hall, folks.
Hey, I made it.
That was a journey.
Huh? Yes, it's been a journey.
You know what? But I appreciate you making the effort, family.
Yes.
I do.
No. Yeah, it was a whole
thing. I do.
Oh,
so I'm talking about, and we actually had this conversation before. We talked about this, and you've talked about this extensively. Like, the last 50 years have kind of been an illusion of freedom, right? Yes. Like, can you, and I was just saying that because, you heard me, but, can you just say a little bit more about that? Because I think, like, in this context of what's happening with the PhD program and with all these things kind of shuttering, people are just like, oh, they're taking things. I was like, no, this shit was on loan. Freedom was on loan. Like, this was never permanent. Can you say some more about that? Catch your breath. Do you need to catch your breath?
Yes. Yeah. I think I could jump right in.
Okay.
It's the idea that, the American experiment, particularly around academia, was not built for African Americans, for people outside of the white standard.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea that we were given access to the level we were, and that we essentially kind of bullied them into giving us titles and places by sort of forcing them to look at themselves and say that we were allowed the space. But the experiment where we were given that level of access, particularly in academia, was shorter than the time they spent virulently oppressing us. So, we could believe, because, my children have better opportunities than my parents did or their parents did, that everything was going well. And I'm not saying it wasn't. It's just that it was actually a much shorter amount of time that was allowed. And I use the word allowed, not guaranteed, obviously not, because the minute they got a chance, even the inkling that it could be revoked, they shut so many doors so fast
without having to, because
no legal basis whatsoever.
No legal basis whatsoever. They were waiting for this. They actually resented the whole George Floyd, Joe Biden DI thing. They hated that they were feeling forced to care about this shit. For all those anti-racism centers that they built, they didn't want to build anyone like anything like that. They didn't want to have to do this shit.
Right.
They were pressured into it, because if you didn't do it, it was like not posting your black square.
Right. You'd look bad. Social desirability.
It would look bad to not do it. Right.
And so it gives you a moral superiority.
Right. And so while a lot of us capitalized on it and was able to try to get as much money, I was telling people that, y'all better get your money.
Get your
because this is going away. Like, this is not real. This is not real. And I even said it's going to slingshot back even worse. Like, we're going to be worse off than we were before this.
Well, I mean, look at 2025 to now.
That's exactly what has happened. It's like
the pendulum has swung really hard.
The pendulum swung out the goddamn door. We are Wait, can we just actually? Can we actually just go back to 2000?
Hey, no. How many of you can I fire? Like all you black educated women that got yourselves government positions, get out of here. Get out. Get out.
Get out. Hundreds of thousands.
Get out. What are you doing?
They said black women with at least a bachelor's degree have had the sharpest decline in employment. Not the black women with no college degree. They're doing okay. Black men. Black men had less than 0.5% decline. White women had less than 0.5% decline. Black women had almost 4% decline in employment. And it's primarily among black women with at least one degree. Now, we know we ain't going to talk about those for-profit degrees. We just going to leave it where it is. But we're talking about sisters who have experience, who were doing these kind of jobs that required higher education, things like that.
Who were running the government.
Because, you're a government job. Come on now. You was raised to go get you a government job, 20 years vested. That's a retirement. That's your pension. You're going to get some Social Security. You got some good benefits. Black people knew to go get a government job.
Yep.
And that's what a lot of sisters did. And when that pendulum swung back, when they said we don't have to do this performative stuff because that crackhead who faked $20 was killed, because that's how they talk about him, right? They said we actually, we're not done making you pay for Obama. So let's ratchet that up.
Honest. It's been 10 years, but that ain't enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
No. At least 3 generations.
You got a little uppity is what you did. You got a little uppity.
You got a little ahead of yourselves.
You was feeling yourself.
Got a little ahead of yourself. Yep. And you let a child of a race traitor white woman. They hate race traitors.
I think he was secretly African, but yeah.
She let a nigga pump and dumping her.
Oh no.
She's the worst of the worst.
Hey.
And it had this little baby.
And y'all made us listen to him for
y'all made us listen to him
for 8 years.
Y'all made us take orders from him. We had to give him money to do things.
Looking down on us all the time.
That uppity nigga was looking down at us. Every ounce of Strom Thurmond energy was activated in these white people.
Yep. Going back centuries.
People who didn't even know they was racist.
Hey.
Would became racist.
I mean, that's most white people.
But it was dormant and like deep in the subconscious. They had no idea. It was deep.
Yeah. I just don't like his face. I don't like his gums because they black.
These are people who was married to black people and actually loved them. They didn't know they was racist.
Secretly hated the back of
goddamn Obama became president, and it activated the spirit of D.W. Griffin. Came out and said, "We riding again."
Their great granddaddy came out of them.
100 years later, we riding again. So now we're all paying for it.
He's the most divisive. He was the most divisive president.
Most divisive president, not Andrew Johnson.
Somehow.
Not Andrew Jackson.
Somehow.
Not fucking Roosevelt.
Somehow.
Roosevelt was not Lincoln.
Hey, they literally fought while he was president, but whatever.
Not any of them presidents that got assassinated.
No.
Because they were
No. But that dude who gave you health care was somehow the most divisive.
The Hawaiian half-breed is the one.
Hey. And then he got that wife. He got degrees and stuff. He got a wife with degrees. How are we doing that?
And had the nerve to marry a black woman darker than a paper bag with an Ivy League education.
She thinks she got her degrees and she thinks she know everything.
She know every fucking thing.
Gonna tell my kids to eat vegetables.
She want my kids to be healthy.
Get that out of here.
It's gonna take 3 generations before we can begin to recover.
If you look at the trajectory of America, you are correct.
From the Obama effect. And 3 generations from now, the earth is cooked anyway. It's either the nuclear war is going to happen and everybody's cooked, or the climate change. They said we got till 2030. It's a wrap. So we're not even going to make it the 3 generations we need to actually begin to heal from their anger at Obama.
But I really need Sora videos. I really need to watch Brad Pitt and Tom Hanks fight each other. So I'm gonna just keep doing that. And who cares about the water? I don't need the water. We don't need the water.
Well, Obama drank that Flint water in front of everybody, telling everybody it was fine.
There you go.
Yeah, he did
Who needs water? I heard the dude from Sora today said it takes 20 years worth of food to keep a person alive. And so, you know, do we really need people?
Do we need people?
We got computers. They'll do it.
Do we need people?
I heard we're going to launch AI centers into space now.
It's another half breed in charge of Palantir. Like, what is happening?
Hey.
We need to start thinking about these things. No, I'm just kidding. Because then all the half breeds watching me are going to get upset. Like,
there you go. Like, you need them to get their
biracial. The biracials are going to get upset with me. So anyway, I led up. All of this was to say that the University of Louisville. And I want y'all to watch this video. The University of Louisville.
That's where you started. I was like, I think that's the tab.
I was getting there. No, I actually was getting there. And you came in and distracted me. And it's okay. But, you know, it's good to see you.
And after studies.
Oh, that's my guy.
Louisville. And I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to bore you. And I don't want to lose your attention. So I'm going to jump right into it. The University of Louisville has taken its first substantive steps to destroy the Department of Pan-African Studies here. Last week, we got word that they are pausing our graduate program. That's very nice speak for we taking the first steps to wipe out your graduate program. The graduate program that was the first Black Studies PhD in the South, in one of the oldest Black Studies departments in the country. They are about to wipe out our graduate program, telling us we're not going to get any more graduate assistantships, even though we've never had the number of graduate assistantships that they originally promised us when the program was founded. We're not allowed to admit any new students, all right? That is the first step to destroy our graduate program. And what was so gangster about it, they did it and didn't even tell the chair of the department. Didn't even tell them. I mean, that's the height of disrespect to do something like that and not even tell the chair. I know it's a height of disrespect because I was a chair of this department for 15 years, over half of my career. And so to do that to somebody who has very different personality than me, Dr. Brandon McCormick is incredibly diplomatic. He's a decent guy who is willing to sit down at the table with them and be more patient with them than I ever would. They didn't even tell him what they were doing. And so, look, if you ask them about it, they'll come up with all kind of reasons. We don't have the correct number of majors or minors. We're not generating these credit hours. We're losing money, Your athletics department is losing money. And that's why they took out a loan for millions upon millions of dollars earlier this school year to shore up athletics. So if you're taking loans to shore up athletics and damage, you need to take out some loans to shore up the only department at this school that speaks to the Black experience. But, you know, I'm not going to come on here and just tell you what they're doing. I'm telling you what we should do, what the response to this should be for those of you who care. All right. For those of you who care. First off, this is a suggestion to President Jerry Bradley and Provost Katie Carter.
All right. I'm going to stop that part. Yeah. So, you know, this is near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
You know, you went and got one of them white degrees. I went and got a Black degree.
Yeah, no, I did. I got R1. I did have the R1.
Well, no, I'm talking about your degree itself. You know, clinical psychology.
Oh yeah, clinical psychology. No. Yeah,
the white man controlling the mind. You wouldn't study that shit, but I studied darkness.
Well, Black, y'all.
I've been saying that now. And people are like, what did you study? I'd be like, darkness. Darkness, Charlie Murphy.
Boy.
No, but you know, it's without saying too much because I am interviewing.
Yeah, you might want to.
But this is happening in other places too, right? And they are ousting the more radical chairs, the ones that are actually deeply committed to the liberation of Black people through education.
Yeah.
The ones who have the knowledge, the scholarship, the ones who have created the theories, written the books, have the blueprints on how we can be free. They're removing them from these chair positions and putting more, as he said, diplomatic people in, or more amenable people who are more amenable to the administration's wants and needs. And I'm seeing that happen at different places. And so it's very sad because those people, some of them, are actually working with the university administrations to sabotage these departments.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would you do that? Like, Black studies came out of fights, boycott, struggle, activism.
Yeah.
Black studies, gender, women's studies, and queer studies all kind of started the same way through this kind of, we need to fight for this.
Yeah.
We're going to boycott. We're not going to pay tuition until you start teaching us and letting us learn our own things, right? So it's really important because I'm like in all of those spaces, right?
Yeah.
And that we are activists by nature. Like, we are educators, but we're activists by nature. So the attacks on these programs are kind of attacking that kind of activism, that civil rights activism, that human rights activism, right? And so that's how it starts. He's right. They won't accept applications for the PhD program. Why? Because if you're not producing the PhDs, who's going to teach? You can justify not building a new Africana Studies department because you'll say, well, we don't have enough Africana Studies PhDs. We have to make it interdisciplinary, or we have to house it under history or under sociology or under English or whatever, because we don't have enough.
Right.
Chat, I want to show you something. And I know you guys don't know this. Most of you don't know this. And I'm going to share this. Dr. Hall, I think you know this because I think we've chatted about this before. And you've also been to NCBS, so you know this.
Yes.
I want to show people how few programs there are to get graduate degrees in any kind of Black studies. And when I say any kind of Black studies, I'm counting African studies, which is its own thing. I'm counting African American studies, which is very specific, African American studies. I'm counting Black studies, whatever that means. I'm counting Africana, which tends to be, most programs tend to be Africana because it covers everybody. African diaspora, you know what I'm saying? It's all any kind of Black studies. I'm going to show people how few programs there are. So starting with the master's programs, you can see this how many there are. And this is actually, I think they updated this maybe a year and a half ago. So I think there's a couple of more programs that came online or whatever. But the joint degree here at the University of Kansas, it's probably connected to history or English or sociology or whatever. I just want everybody to see. There's 5,000 colleges and universities in the United States. And these are the only places you can get at least a master's degree in Black studies. This is intentional. This is by design. Right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Clark Atlanta, Morgan State.
The Ohio State's still doing it.
So those are the only two HBCUs. Morgan State and Clark Atlanta. Somebody fact check me. I don't. The other ones are not. They're not, right? So that's already a problem, right? Every HBCU, every historically Black university should offer advanced degrees in Black studies. They just should.
It's interesting that they don't.
Very interesting that they don't. And I'm going to say Howard is not on this list. So let's add Howard. I'm going to say 3 because I know Howard they offer it. So it's not Africana. Howard offers a degree in African studies. Again, like I said, that's a different discipline, by the way. Which outside of Howard, it's largely dominated by white people because it tends to on like Egyptology and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Here's the doctoral programs. Now, I do know that UNC has one and Emory. So we can add them. These are the only schools that you can get a PhD in Black studies. This is why I tell people all the time. I was like, do y'all know how rare my degree is? Like, y'all have to understand my shit is rare. And the fact that mine is Africology, which is the Afrocentric study of African phenomena. We only got 3 programs that are Afrocentric. All the rest are Eurocentric, right? And I bet you can guess. Brown, Harvard, whatever. I just need people to understand this, Dr. Hall.
Yes.
I'm mentioning Howard. Howard is the only HBCU you can get a PhD in any kind of Black studies. And it's not even Africana studies. It's not even American studies. It's African studies. So this is where we are.
Right.
So, but look though, Brown, Cornell, Harvard, going University of Pennsylvania, Yale. 5 out of the 8 Ivies offer them. 1 HBCU. What are we doing?
I mean, and I, you know, as a person who spent 8 years of his life in the college system, I know for a fact that the college does not make a move like this unless they believe they can get away with it.
Yep.
They're very adverse to litigation. And they know which students they can kind of cast aside. And having been involved in the college just for now 30 years, I know how hard like my own college worked to just, it's like, why do we have an African-American culture center on campus? Can't we get rid of that? Can't we get rid of that budget line item? Because why do you guys need your own culture center?
It doesn't matter to them.
Right. It's like, what is that?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that happened when Temple was getting the anti-racist center around this whole George Floyd thing. They actually got a gift for like $1.something million. And the state said, okay, well, the money we gave you, you can just give us that 1 point whatever million back. What?
Yeah.
So the money that you said you were giving us to start this, you want to take it back because we were able to get another gift?
Right.
Are you like this? People don't understand this is what happens at higher ed, Dr.
Right.
Like, we need to just let them know this. And the reason, and a lot of people may be like, why does that matter? Higher education matters because we're the ones who create the knowledge.
Right.
Everything you know comes out of this. Like, come on. Like, we have people who are smart and ain't go to college. I'm still smart. I read. Who wrote the fucking books?
Right. Right.
You read the books written by the people that went to the college.
You need people to be producing the knowledge to keep the culture and your life alive, basically.
When you go and search and you use them AI statistics, those statistics had to be produced by college-educated people, the PhDs.
Well, the ones that weren't made up by the AI.
The ones that weren't made up, right, by AI, the legitimate ones. Like, this is what people don't understand. So it's like, as much as you say, you need to go, everything that you have is because somebody went to achieve a higher education and devoted their life to making sure that you could better understand the world around you.
Right.
And so when you have discipline, and I'll stick with African American studies because we do have our own research methods and we have our theories and things like that. When you have a discipline like that, where they are trying to dismantle it, what they're saying is we don't want you producing knowledge about Black people.
And I'll add to that. What they're also saying is, I mean, and you said this before, these disciplines were built on abolition. And so do you want people learning how to dismantle the systems? Let's dismantle the thing that teaches how to dismantle systems.
Exactly.
I need to keep making money.
And people don't like when you critique HBCUs. And I actually think this is a great question. It's interesting their elite institutions offer them, but the HBCUs do not. Does this have something to do with still having power over new Black knowledge being created through those programs? Partially, yes. That's when I say the difference between Afrocentric and Eurocentric, I'm speaking intentionally. Dr. Carr is at Howard. Dr. Carr is a Temple grad. Okay, he's an Afrocentric program grad. Half the chairs of any Black studies departments in this country graduated from Temple. So, and they don't like that because our program is Afrocentric, not Eurocentric like Harvard's and Brown's and Penn's and such. And I have my undergrad from Penn. So I'm telling you that I know the difference. I have both, right? And so that's a great question because that is one of the things. It is a gatekeeping. Because if you go and look at the website of who these teachers are at some of these programs at these elite institutions, ain't enough niggas there. It's just not. I'm not taking a class on African-American music taught by a white woman over my dead body. I would rather jump off the Brooklyn Bridge in negative 32-degree weather. And yet,
there's one you could take out there.
And yet, right?
Tomorrow.
So, I'm not studying Toni Morrison with a white guy. I'm just not.
No. But he really understands it. He really gets it. He's been to Africa every summer.
That's just me. That's just me. Hey. Other people may love it.
You went
But
to
the
that
thing is,
black program. You just said it.
but Dr. Hall, the thing is that the reason why I take that is not because I don't like learn. One of my favorite teachers of all time is a white woman. She's one of the reasons I'm a writer today. Is because I know there's black people that can do it instead.
Yeah.
I know that there are black people with PhDs who are Toni Morrison scholars. I know there are black people with PhDs who are music scholars. So if they exist, they should have the opportunity to teach that, right? And they are in other places, and shout out to them, probably making more money than they would at Harvard, to be honest. But the reason this is important, why we look at those elites, so that's one. It is a little bit of gatekeeping. There is a little bit of, we want to control the knowledge and don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. Two,
that's their whole
that's their whole thing.
That's
the Epstein files teach us something. They are controlling the schools, man. Like they're literally controlling the school. I mean, we knew it. We knew it. But now we know it.
Yes. No, the reason I put Larry Wexner on the docket is because he's all over the Ohio State. Like
all over.
Like, he was writing checks like, yep. Yeah.
That's how they buy credibility. That's why Diddy gave Howard all that money.
Yeah.
Was to give himself credibility. So he knew what he was doing. But if I can shine, like, come on, like we talked about it with Diddy, we can talk about it with them. If I can show I'm charitable and supportive, I can create a facade so nobody digs into my perversions.
You don't need to know what I'm doing.
Exactly. Okay. So that's that. So the second thing is resources, right? And that's why, it's a big deal that the Trump administration is trying to freeze funds and certain things like that, because
freeze funds for HBCUs.
They did freeze funds, right?
Until someone, they got to them and was like, please don't do this. And he was like, oh, I'm going to not do it and tell everyone that I'm keeping the funds going, even though I cut them off arbitrarily.
Well, I was actually talking about Harvard, but yes, also, so they were freezing Harvard's money, Columbia's money, like all these people's money, because that's how they can fund their research. That's how they can fund these programs. And they know that when they have to cut back, the first to go is AFAM, women's studies, gender, sexuality, all of that stuff, right?
All the extra stuff.
Yep. And then music goes, art history go, they make their way up. So that was intentional. But the reason why these schools are able to do is because they have the money to do it. So a lot of the schools a lot of the HBCUs don't have the money, aside from a handful of them that are constantly getting all the same donations. And because it looks good to write a check to Spelman, it looks good to write a check to Howard. When you got Rust College, you've got Bennett College. Bennett College only needed $5 million to stay afloat. You know who helped them out? Jussie Smollett. But anyway, he's the only celebrity that spoke up for Bennett College. The only other all women's HBCU. They only needed $5 million. That is like 5 cents to Tyler Perry, and he did nothing. Okay, but anyway. So those schools are not getting the funding and things like that. But without the resources, it's hard to, first of all, the University of Pennsylvania, it took them 40 years to turn it into a department. It was a program. When I got my undergrad, it was a program. Now it's a department. And in order to be a department at a university, you have to be able to offer undergraduate and graduate, right? So that means they had to pull together all this faculty to be able to prove we can sustain this. Now, if only 20 some odd schools are producing PhDs, how is a new African American Studies department going to be able to pull together all the faculty that they need to make the departments?
Yes.
And if they try to go the interdisciplinary, because first of all, it's not enough of us. Like, seriously, it's not enough of us to sustain departments just as that. So they got to pull in the history folks. Did you do stuff on the Reconstruction? Did you do stuff on the Renaissance? Can you come and teach this? Are you a Morrison scholar? Are you a Du Bois scholar? Can you do this? The English folks, come on, we need the literature. Like, they're going to pull from everywhere to try to pull it together.
Just to stay afloat.
Just to stay afloat. That costs money. Right? You got to have tenure lines. You got to have tenure track lines. You got to be able to afford to progress people through. You got to be able to give them grants to do their research. You got to pay for them to go to conferences to present their research. The HBCUs cannot do that. They can barely afford to fund PhDs. There's several HBCUs that are offering PhD programs and they're making people pay for them, which is no pay for no goddamn PhD, please. It's just not worth it.
You're all about that life.
It's just not worth it. It's just not. But that's what the struggle is for the HBCUs. So no, but all of that aside, fundamentally and culturally, every single HBCU should offer at least a bachelor's degree in African American studies. And they don't.
They don't.
And they don't. And that, and people, people, they're like, well, what you going to do about it? What? Shut up.
Yeah.
How about they won't hire folks like me? How about they're too busy trying to court white professors? And that's the T.
Once again, I mean, they are often, because of the issues around funding, because of the issues of being essentially always behind the eight ball, they're fighting for legitimacy.
They're fighting for legitimacy.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to just cast off some, that way that particularly the old school version of blackness was to just shave off the parts that are impalatable to white people so that you can survive. And remembering that there were several HBCUs, they were not all funded with altruistic intentions. Several HBCUs were funded to keep Black people out of white schools. Keep them over there.
Instead of you all still trying to get into our schools,
I guess you might need to go over there to do it.
Here, we're going to build these schools so that you can go to school over here. Or we're going to build this school so we can train y'all to be good niggas. We can't have you being vagrants. We can't have you being idle in society. We can't have you wandering around, listless, not knowing where to go after you done be freed. Let's create this school so that we can train you to be good people. They start off as normal schools, right?
Right.
So what do you do with a normal school and a segregationist school and put it in the 21st century? What are the expectations of it, right? What do we expect it to produce? Not people who are proud to be Black and learn.
I'd like you to be close to the status quo that I agree with.
You have to, you need to study white psychology. You need to study the classics. Remember when Cornel West lost his mind because Howard was getting rid of the classics and Dr. Malefi Asante had to come and tell him to shut the hell up because Howard never taught the Black classics. He was like, y'all got a classics department where you're teaching Socrates and Aristotle and all this other shit, but you don't teach any of the Black philosophers, the historian Ptah Imhotep. You don't teach none of them, and you're Howard. So I know people don't necessarily know that this stuff goes on. Like, they don't necessarily know these inner workings because they don't have access to it. But this is an ongoing thing. And as somebody who would love nothing more than to be like the Black feminist scholar at an HBCU, I know that is virtually impossible for me at this point. Because the funding is not there, the access is not there, and I'm a little too brown skinned.
A little too radical.
Well, that too, but I'm also a little too brown skinned for some of these schools. So they like their Black studies folks to be biracial, light skinned, curly hair. Again, legitimacy, proximity to whiteness, all of that stuff. And that's tea. And I'm dropping it. I don't care who gets upset about it. But I want to go where I'm going to be welcome. But all of that to say, y'all, we got off on a tangent, but all of that to say that it's an assault on Blackness.
Yes.
Because if we are not producing the knowledge creators like myself, what happens? We keep going back to Morrison's books. We keep going back to Du Bois's books. We keep going back to all the stuff that's already been written, but it's old.
Yeah.
And while some of it is timeless, a lot of it is not relevant to our times, particularly as we are thinking about the Afrofuture.
Right.
Afrofuturism really is where we are as a discipline right now. Trying to imagine and speculate on what the future looks like for our people. We need to train Afrofuturist scholars because we have all these Black people walking around thinking the wrong things. They can't define Afrofuturism, but whatever.
You want to see
Whatever.
niggas in space, don't you? That's what it is.
That, hey, Whitey's on the moon, so
Yeah.
you know, but that's again part of why people don't necessarily know what Afrofuturism is because we're not allowed to teach it.
Yeah, hey, you might get too uppity. I don't
We're
like it.
fighting to get the knowledge out there. We're like, I have a chapter coming out in an Afrofuturism textbook, and it's like, we need that stuff. Who's paying for it? University of Edinburgh.
Shout out to the publications.
University of Edinburgh.
Mm.
Where's Edinburgh?
Across the pond, I think.
There, very much. There it is.
Hey, you know, they've always loved it. There's a reason a lot of Black people went to Paris.
Oh, but that school is very, very loving of Black people, right? But this, again, you're right. This is why so many of our greatest thinkers and our philosophers and others left this country, because this country does not support that knowledge production. And so I need people to see it not just as, oh, they're being racist or whatever. Yeah, they're racist. But a lot of you have internalized anti-Blackness as well, because you're telling your kids not to major in this. And he was right, because there is part of it with the departments is like, and that's across the board, that if you don't have enough people majoring and minoring in it, they begin to see it as irrelevant. So when you're sending Black children and Black students to colleges and universities and telling them not to major in African American studies, even though I did a double major, it's a double major, you can easily do it, or not even to minor it because you think it's not worth it, or you think it's not important, that they need to be focusing on engineering and medicine
STEM.
and
All about STEM.
You could do an AFM degree and be pre-law. That's what I was. That's why I did. I said sociology of deviance law. I was going to be a lawyer. You can do that, like, but you have all these internalized anti-Blackness and these parents that are telling their children, "I'm not going to pay for college if you major in that." Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And it's like, don't come to me now and I tell you, I carry resentment around this. I don't even hide it. I am very resentful when I see Black people talking about, we need to protect Black studies. What's your degree in? How many classes did you take? Oh, okay. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because I've been fighting for this for decades. We are a small group, but we are fighting for our lives. And now you see it. Oh, now you want to pay attention because it's Trump. This shit was happening under Obama too.
It's been happening for 30 years.
It's been happening. And they have been trying their best to get rid of us after all the activism and then the 80s and everything was cool. They slowly started saying, now get out of here. We don't want this anymore.
Right.
And
I was in college in the 90s. We were fighting for these departments.
You're fighting for it. We were fighting for it too. And I was, so it's like all of y'all was talking shit. I remember that, I'm not even gonna say her name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. The one that had a house person in her home country and came here and now makes all the money off the white mommy bloggers. Remember, she was trashing African American studies degrees. But anyway, that's just, a lot of people do have done that and thought it's funny to do it. And it's not. So now what we see is they are getting rid of them at major universities. Research One, R1 universities that get a lot of money are cutting these programs. And now suddenly people care. But I need people to understand that why you should care. You should care because we are the knowledge producers. All you have to do is go on Threads and see how fucking stupid everybody is about Black history right now. You got all these niggas, which I think part of it is a psyop. All of them talking about we the original indigenous people. We're not from Africa. Where are the slave ships? All of that shit. I'm not getting into it. I can't do it. But I'm just saying the evidence is there because they're not all bots.
Don't know anything.
They're not all bots.
Yeah.
And there are people that actually believe this shit
Strangely
because they never studied, because they don't read, because they don't have access to it.
They watch the videos.
And I'm just like, this is why we have to do the work that we do. Look at, like I said, I'm not going to get into it because these people drive me up the wall. But obviously, this is something that I'm incredibly passionate about. This is my life's work. And I'm watching, like I said, as a Black woman, watching it on all sides. They're basically saying we want to erase you from our intellectual consciousness. We want to erase you from history and from modern times. We don't want you all producing any knowledge or information. We want you to disappear. And that is a heavy, heavy burden to bear.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. The University of Oklahoma, aren't they the ones that just got rid of the trans TA? Was it University of Oklahoma? Yeah, that's a terrible school. Sorry, like they lost all credibility with that shit. And look at the girl that they had who was doing it, Phil Necky. Remember we talked about the Phil Necky?
Oh,
She
yeah,
dumb as a box of bricks. But I mean,
Yeah.
we're also seeing that among a lot of undergrads. They're not very smart because they can't read or write. So a lot of these schools are losing credibility.
They're just a lot of undergrad is becoming trade school. It's just a
it really
do this
is.
for 4 years. They send their white kids to hang out somewhere for 4 years to get a credential, so they can scoop them up into daddy's company, and capitalism keeps going.
I had a student submit something I was grading today, and they were talking about Frantz Fanon's theories as it relates to Black Panther and then Afrofuturism and juxtaposition. I was like, you don't know what none of this shit is. I wrote to the student, I said, you didn't include any sources for Fanon or for your definition that you provided of Afrofuturism. Can you tell me what they are? And the student wrote back, oh, I'll resubmit this. I said, no, I didn't ask you to resubmit it. I asked you to tell me what those sources are. It's like, well, I'll get back to you with that. I know you use ChatGPT. This is kind of how you have to go about it, like, because they get mad when you accuse them of using ChatGPT. So you kind of have to go about it in a curious way. I'm like, this reads a lot like something my mentor actually just published. So I want to know what you think. What source were you reading for Frantz Fanon to link this to Black Panther? I'm actually about to go present on this, so maybe
you might be talking to somebody a little bit. Yeah. You might be too much dipping in
and this is commonplace, right? I tell people all the time. I teach one school, I teach remotely, and some of my students are older, and I tell you they're the best students. They actually want to be there. They actually love learning. They didn't get a chance maybe to go when they were 18 to 22, but they're back in school and they're really committed to this. So like, I love it. I don't like calling people non-traditional students because I believe you can go to school whenever you want to go to school, but I love them. So they give me the most, and I love reading their stuff. The young folks, they stay on struggle mode.
They're just doing a thing to do a thing because that's what they were told to do, basically.
So yeah, but anyway, Dr. Hall, thank you so much for making it. I appreciate you being here. I didn't get through a lot of the stuff. I'll save it. Well, Tuesday is the State of the Union, so I'm actually going to go live for the State of the Union on Tuesday. If you're available and want to join us, we'll have
available for the State of the Union.
All right, we'll have a State of the Union watch party. It's kind of late though. You gonna be okay to do it? I know you.
What time is the State of the Union?
It's probably. What am I committing to? Probably. Let me see. State of the Union, because sometimes they don't come on till like 9 o'clock.
That is true. It'd be late. I feel like we did. Did we do a State of the Union once? We did.
I think we did. Oh wait, it says no, starting at 6. Well, no, their live coverage is starting at 6. No, because that could mean Kid Rock is the opening. That could mean all of that stuff. Let me see.
Pomp and circumstance.
Oh, 9 p.m. So it's 9 p.m. on Tuesday. So y'all, we gonna be here Tuesday. We're gonna do a little later. We're gonna come on about 8:30 or so. Cover some stuff that's going on, but we'll be ready for the State of the Union. So I hope that everybody comes back on Tuesday and I'll actually do it. I should be okay. Because actually, you know what? I am teaching remotely tomorrow because of the snowstorm. So I don't really have as much travel this week. So I'm fine to do Tuesday. If you haven't registered for the Wednesday class, the final Black History Month class. It is go to FemJones.com/BHM26. Black Women's History Week begins on February 25th. You can also go to my website. There is a link to describe the history of Black Women's History Week, which begins on the 25th. And I hope to see you all then. I don't know, Dr. Hall. I'm glad to see you. It's been a while, Dr. Hall. We haven't done this. What?
It's been a while. Yeah.
At least a
You
month.
canceled all the Tuesday shows.
Wow.
And then,
so I guess this is my fault.
Yeah, no, it's your fault. I'll be around, but you be doing your own thing. You're teaching classes, doing the Black History Month thing, but I'm also dealing with some family stuff. So
yeah. That's, everybody just send your warm wishes and your warm spirits and energies, and your praying person, pray to Dr. Hall and his family. They're dealing with some stuff over there. They could use all the positive energy and all the positive affirmations and love and the prayer, whatever you do when you want to send somebody some positive things. Dr. Hall and his family will absolutely welcome that. We all go through things, and life be lifing. And the people that we love go through things, and it's it's a lot, right? And so we are here with you, Dr. Hall. We love you. We appreciate that you come and add a little spice to the show. I feel like I'm better when you're here, like because
you were losing energy, and then you spiked up right as I got back on. I was like, wait, what? I thought I was gonna be up for like 5 minutes, and it was like,
I was saying to myself, I was like, oh, Mr. Homie. Like, this is big.
She's losing steam. I gotta get on the show.
I was losing steam. Oh gosh.
And then you did a whole other hour.
Oh my gosh. I know we did. I was gonna go.
Oh, yeah, you were. I was like, I'm gonna just jump on real quick.
I gotta eat. I gotta finish grading. But here I am. I was supposed to, right? So we definitely appreciate you. We want everything, all the good things, and we are claiming all the good things for you and your family. So we appreciate you. All right, so I'm gonna let you go. Okay.
All right.
Chat, listen. The country and the world is run by pedophiles. That is the reality that we are living in right now. That is the reality. And for the most part, nothing is going to be done about it. I just did a panel yesterday. We were talking about missing Black girls. Shout out to the Black Girl Missing podcast. And my team over there, who are also my best friends. So shout out to them. But, I just had this moment where I was just like, I'm sitting next to a police officer, and I'm like, y'all know the police are involved, right? Y'all know it's every level, it's every sector, everywhere we look. These are the people that are involved. And it's all around us. I've known this for a long time. There have been people like me who have been screaming at the top of our lungs about it, but now everybody's starting to understand that we weren't crazy. We weren't alarmists. We weren't making things up. We were telling the truth about the world that we are in. And not much is going to be done about it. So what do we do as a community? How do we adjust to this reality, this new consciousness? We have to rebel. We absolutely have to rebel. And the first step to rebelling is to arm ourselves with knowledge. We have to educate ourselves. We have to make sure that we are staying aware. We have to stay conscious. We cannot go to sleep on this. And I know that it is hard because all we want to do sometimes is dissociate. Like a lot of times we're like, you know what? I'm just going to drink my drink, smoke my little smoke, drink my coffee. Whatever it is that my vice is, I'm just going to escape. And you can do that for a little bit, but we need you to come right back. We have to fight. We have to rebel. We cannot accept this. They are going to try everything that they can, but the people united will never be defeated. We just saw in New Brunswick, they shut down a data center because the people were united. and they could not be defeated. ICE is pulling out of Minneapolis because the people were united and they could not be defeated. We have to remember this. We cannot just lay down and accept this. This country is run by pedophiles and people who are willing to cover for them. We have to do something else. I love you all so very much. I think about this all the time. Thank you for all the well wishes for when I was sick. I've seen your messages on social media. I may not always be able to respond to everybody. I mean, guys, I have like 250,000 followers across my platforms. I can't always respond to everything, but I see them all and I appreciate them all. Stop DMing me though. I don't, if you don't know, I don't want you DMing me. Like, stop, because I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with your DM. I don't know what to do when you send me the same reel that 10 other people have sent me. Like, I'm not sure what you think I'm supposed to do. So stop DMing me. But anyway, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you with the love of my ancestors and the love of your ancestors. I love you with the love of resilience and endurance. I know that we will get to the other side of this. So when we talk about Afrofuturism, we have to imagine a future, a new radical future in which every human being is treated as valuable and honored for their individuality and respected. Their rights are respected. I love you with that love. I love you with the love of Assata Shakur. I love you with the love of Malcolm X. Yesterday was the anniversary of his assassination. I love you with the love of Malcolm X. I love you with the love of Dr. King. I love you with the love of everybody who was willing to risk their lives to move us forward, even if it's just an inch. I'm trying to move us forward an inch or 12 or whatever your daddy is packing. I love you all very much. And I hope that you feel loved. I hope that you feel protected. And I hope that you'll feel safer tomorrow. We will win. I must believe that we will win. You have to say it every day. You have to believe it. Put it into your prayers. Put it on your altar. Write, "We will win," and put it on your altar. Put it under your pillowcase. Put it in your tarot deck. Put it wherever you need it to be. You have to believe that we will win. We're going to continue to do this. I will see you all on Tuesday for the State of the Union. Take care of yourselves and each other and go eat something.